Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. As promised, I'm going to try to bring you as many as I could find at a reasonable price, affordable phones that are well within your budget, more than likely, that'll perform like powerhouse flagships. And this is the first one. This is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8, the dual SIM version. I got this from B&H. It's the 3 gig, 32 gig model. It comes in a 64 gig as well and 128 gig. It has a 48 megapixel, an 8 megapixel, a 2 megapixel, and another 2 megapixel on the back, along with a 8 megapixel front-facing HDR camera. So you get a 48 megapixel wide, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 2 megapixel macro lens, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. That is a lot. This phone again only cost $159 from B&H. So do your research. I wanted to bring you a nice intro to 2020. So let's get this unboxing done. Tool, and then you get some pamphlets, and you get a clear case. I don't think I would ever use that, but here's the phone. And you get a charger and a fast USB Type-C and a fast charging cable. On the front here, you can see it tells you all the cameras and everything that's a part of the phone. Lets you know what's up. You got a 6.3-inch display, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, Snapdragon 665 octa-core processor, and obviously you can see I went with the blue. All of these will probably have some sort of fingerprint magnet, but there's that 4-camera setup. It sticks out a whole bunch, and then you've got the fingerprint reader on the back there. You've got the AI camera with the dual tone LED flash, some Redmi Note branding right there. You got a power button, a volume rocker, and you've got an IR blaster on top, a microphone up top. You got a Type-C dual microphone setup on the bottom there, a speaker, and a headphone jack, and then your SIM tray is on this side here. So let's fire this up and I'll get my information in here. Let's keep this video going, and we're going to go through the settings. We're going to go through the device right now. Let's get it going. Alright guys, so I've actually been playing with the phone for a couple of hours now, and I'm impressed. It's hard to believe that this phone cost $159. So the first thing I want to do as I kick this part of the video off, before I get into all of the settings on the device and everything, I want to show you the cameras, and so we'll jump to that right now because I know you're anxiously awaiting to see what these cameras look like, and they are impressive. Now, I didn't go outside in this video. I'm a little under the weather, but I did shoot some footage right here in the office and took some photos right here in the office, and I guarantee you'll be impressed. So check this out. Alright guys, here's the front camera of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 up here. A little under the weather, so I'm not going outside yet, but I will give you a full video on the cameras at a later date. But this front camera looks amazing to me. Alright guys, here's the rear camera at 30 frames per second. It does shoot in 4K, I will show you that. But this is rear camera shooting at 30 frames per second, and you can also shoot wide angle, so I'm going to switch to wide angle now for 30 frames per second. All right, here's the rear camera, wide angle, 30 frames per second. I think it's absolutely good footage, and I think this is totally doable by today's standards. It's actually a little bit better, obviously, than some other phones on the market in this price range, but this is wide angle. I'm sure there is a lot in view. All right, here's 4K at 30 frames per second. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't do 60 frames per second. I'm pretty sure it could, but for some reason they don't have that. Maybe I'll get an update on that, as a matter of fact. But this is the rear camera at 4K at 30 frames per second. Now let's switch to wide angle 4K. All right, here's wide angle 4K. I think the footage is probably going to look great. This is the back of the camera, so I really can't tell until I see it on the viewfinder or on the video like you. But I'm looking at it now, and I'm probably happy. All right, so cameras, extremely impressive. I mean, ridiculously good. There's no reason this phone should be priced at $159 based on the way it's performing. So what I did this time is I installed all of my applications and I set the phone. I left this front screen kind of the same, but I put all my applications on here and I left it in this orientation for the review phase. I do have my Pix launcher on here. I want to show you what I will consider bloatware on the device, and that's pretty much it. So you go into this folder right here where it says more apps. Facebook is here, so I want to uninstall Facebook. Let's see if we can do it, and it does let me uninstall it. So now it's gone. And then this basically the word processing apps are in their office pretty much. I don't consider that bloatware so much, but because I use Google Docs, but you know, I probably won't use that, but who knows, I might need it one day. So that is it. That was what I would consider bloatware. Now this is the second page here. I moved all of my stuff down below. So let me see if I can get a little closer here. All this up here at the top, you've got files, weather, calendar, you've got music, the cleaner, the Me video, the notes. Those are all things that I definitely can put to use. Now on this side here, it comes with the browser. This is the way it was originally set up. And I already turned on dark mode because the phone does have dark mode. We'll get into that in just a second. I'm going to switch it back to the light mode once I start going to the settings because it's a little darker on video. But here it is. You got your gallery, your browser, and in I love phones that have gallery apps. I mean, it's just the way it goes. It's a good thing to do to have a gallery app on a device. I really think that all phones should have a gallery app. Now, you've got your settings next to that. We'll get into that. You got themes, Me community. I don't bother uninstalling that because I might need to go into the Me community one day. So I always leave that on Xiaomi devices. It's very useful, believe it or not. Their community is pretty much just like the OnePlus community. It is deep in there. Then you've got your security, your Google, some tools here. All of these things I think are extremely useful because you have an FM radio, calculator, clock, recorder, you know, screen recorder. These are all things that are a part of this phone. You have a QR scanner, the compass, you got your download section, you got the Me remote because this has an IR blaster on the top, which is again $159, folks. Don't sleep on it. And then I put my Google here, and it came with this games folder, but I added my Hawk game because you guys know I like Hawk, and I will test that as well. So there you have it. Let's get into, and all my apps again are down here. I installed a whole bunch of apps and they're all down there. And I got it set up like I normally would have it set up on a device. And I'll probably leave it this setup right here. This doesn't really bother me too much. I'll just swipe over to get on the social media if I need to. I've been cutting back on social media. If you don't know, I've kind of toned back on Twitter. So I'm on Instagram more now. It's just personal preference. So let's go into settings here. As you can see, it has dark mode. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it to the light mode so you can get a better look at the settings in this video. So starting at the top here, also it's an update available here on the device. It's going to take it to 11. Right now I'm on 10. MIUI 10 is going to take me to MIUI 11, so which is really cool. The phone is still running Android 9 at this moment, but I will update you when the phone gets Android 10 or if it does get Android 10. And mind you, this phone just came out about a month ago or so, so keep that in mind. So you've got your security status, you've got SIM card and network, you've got your Wi-Fi network, you've got Bluetooth, you've got your portable hotspot, which you can use, your data usage, and you go to more, you've got your VPN, your wireless display, Bluetooth tethering, airplane mode, reset Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, emergency alerts. So we got to turn these emergency alerts off because it always goes off at the wrong time in the middle of the night and I don't really hear it. So that's in there. And if you go to display, this is where you can see your brightness level. It is up on auto bright. I just keep it on auto bright, but it does get fairly bright. As you can see, it's pretty decent. Not the brightest, but it's definitely decent. You can go to contrast and colors. You can change it how you want it. You got the default, you got the warm, you got the cool. I just leave it on default. You can increase contrast and, you know, make the adjustments here that you need. You've got your dark mode, which I've already switched on and switched off. You guys know what it looks like with dark mode. Dark mode is where I will be using it. Let me go back over here. You've got your double tap to wake. You got the screen size. So right now I have it set to pretty much small. And I think I'll leave it this way. I like a lot on the screen, but when you change it, it lets you know immediately. I better change it to medium because that way I don't have to use my glasses so much. But you can go all the way up. You can also put it all the way up to extra large. And eventually, I probably will be on extra large, but you can do extra small too. But right now, I'm on medium. That's a good setting for me. And then let's see here. I want to tell you guys something about this phone. This phone is really awesome. So you got your raise to wake. I'm looking on the screen up here. You're wondering what I was kind of starting a little bit, but got your raise to wake on that display on that part of the phone as well. So let's go down to wallpapers. Here's the wallpapers that are in the device. These are the pre-installed ones. They're actually really, really solid, folks. I mean, this phone has some really, really good wallpapers. So let's switch to one of these. Let's just do this extremely, look at how vibrant and vivid that is. Wow. That's crazy. That is just, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And then let's try another one here. Look at that, that's beautiful. I mean, wow. Look at that, that's incredible. It's crazy to think though that this phone cost $140 or $159 right now at the recording of this video. Pretty incredible. And I think that's a huge plus. I can switch it to something like this. Just kind of showing you the different wallpapers here. But yeah, I find it impressive so far with these wallpapers, man. This is just incredible right here that you get these offerings here. And these are kind of the default Xiaomi's that used to be on all the phones, but I think they have them now to where you can just download them. And here's some more of them here. This is just crazy. It's beautiful. So we'll switch it back to this one. This is the way it came out of the box for now. All right, let's go into settings here. So those are the wallpapers, folks, and it is a lot to choose from. Now with Xiaomi devices, you know, you can obviously do themes. They have a theme store. And the great thing about the Xiaomi theme store is that a lot of them are pretty much free. Unlike the Samsung store, Xiaomi's themes are just free. They don't have a lot that are paid, if any. But you can change up the device any way you want to, so keep that in mind when you want to really theme your device out. Sound and vibration, obviously, you've got your ringtone volume, or you got your alarm volume. Those are some of the, that's my favorite ringtone for the Mi phones. That's the Mi Remix. But you got all your different ringtones in here. You got your notification sounds in here. You got your vibrate for calls, vibrate for silent. You can choose how you want the haptic feedback, and I got mine set to strong because I really like it. And then you can change the settings down here. On your lock screen, you got your lock screen and password. You do have face recognition. Right now I just have fingerprint set up, and then you've got how long you want it to stay awake and sleep or whatever. But you wake with the volume buttons, wake with the screen notifications, camera launch, advanced settings here. You see you've got pocket mode, lock, touch sensitive. Yeah, we need to have that on. You got your on lock screen notifications and content. You can see show all notifications, but hide content. That's what we want to do. And you got your owner's information. I haven't set that up yet, but let me put it in here now. I do have the it came with the Google keyboard already installed on here. So there we go. Oh, I can't put that much on there. My bad. So let's go with the basic. J. Williams. And then that'll be on my lock screen. So lock screen information. You got the lock screen clock. You can decide how you want it to look. You can have it angled up at the top. I actually kind of like that at the top over there, aligned, left aligned. You've got this the vertical, and it came with the center, but I'm going to put it over to the left. And that's pretty much on that screen there. Let's see here. Let's go down here to notifications and status bar. Here's how I have it set up right now currently. Nothing major here. Just shows you how you want to set up your notifications and your apps. You can change how you're notified for the apps and everything. And that's it. And with these Xiaomi phones, you can actually put instead of it showing T-Mobile, I can change that to whatever I want in there. I think that's pretty cool. What else? You got your digital well-being. Obviously, you got the home screen and recent. This is how you have you can change the launcher. So you can see I do have the Pix launcher in there, but I left it here just for that reason because I'm going to be reviewing this phone. I want to keep it in this status right here as long as I can. Swipe up from the home screen to open search was turned on, but I kept accidentally doing it when I was swiping, so I turned it off. You have these gestures right here, and you can shake to film. I turn any kind of gestures that I don't want to move around by accident. I turn those off. Now your layout, you can go to 4x6 or 5x6. I have it at 5x6. It came default on 4x6. Just so you know. You can have show memory status. A lot of people don't like that. I prefer it though sometimes. Let's turn it off though. And then you got show suggestions. And that's it. Now full screen display. This is where the buttons, now these buttons come like this with the back over here, but I prefer the back on that side. And this is where you can actually do it. And you can also turn on full screen gestures right here. And that is how you do it there. Nothing major. You're just going to be using gestures on the device instead of the buttons. So that is how you do that. And also right here, here's your hide that area at the top. This is what it would look like. Some of you guys always ask for that. I pretty much would leave that on though, because it looks it's uniformed now, but I don't really like how that looks, and it chops off a little bit more than I want. So, all right, oops, let's get back in there. All right, and you got your digital wellness. You know what that is, man. It just basically tells you how you're using your phone and all that type of jazz. How long you were on YouTube, how much you did this. Second space, obviously, that creates like a little partition. So that's that. Battery and performance. You've got your battery optimization. You've got the power usage. Just shows you how much screen on time and stuff like that, and what you're using your apps for. You got your optimization, everything. And then storage, this is the 32 gig model, and I have 12 gigs available. It lets you know what's taking up everything. The system actually used 10, so I only had 22 to begin with, but again, it has an SD card, so it really doesn't matter. You got your emergency SOS, additional settings. This is where you can see all your regions, date and time, the language input, change everything. You got your buttons and gestures in here. This is where you can make adjustments to change everything if you don't like the way it's set up by default. Headphone and audio effects. You've seen this on Xiaomi phones before. When you plug in one of their devices, you get a lot more bonus out of the phone because you get the real use. You got one hand mode because this is really not a small phone, but it in fact is it's not too big, but it's big enough to have one hand mode. But I think people who buy these phones like this, they're really not looking to use one hand mode. So you got your speaker here. You can just play a 30-second audio to hear the speaker. Oh, there you go. So it's a pretty decent speaker. I'll play music and everything later. But you got your quick ball settings here. This to have the little floating ball. So if you don't want to use one hand mode, you can just use this little ball that comes up, and it'll pretty much appear right there. Yeah, that's how you do it. So that's that. And pretty much that's it, man. I think that's on. Oh, notification light. Some of you guys want to see the notification light is up here right next to this little part of the speaker here. And when you plug it up, let me switch on dark mode real quick before I get out of here. When you plug up the device, if you look here on the top corner right there, you're going to see the notification light come on. It's right there. Very faint right there. Right there. That's it. So fingerprint reader is fairly fast. The device itself is really fast, but it's a beautiful looking device. I mean, the cameras to me, I can't believe these are on a $159 phone, folks. Do not look at this beautiful hardware too. This is incredible, man. Who wouldn't want to own something like this for 159 bucks? I mean, you could buy 3 of these and have a backup or something like that. You don't need to buy a $500, not even a $300 phone at this point, man. Let's go deeper real fast into the camera settings before I get out of here. So, stop asking my location. So right here, you've got the camera settings. You've got video, photo, then you've got short video, slow motion video. I mean, it is loaded to the gills. It has wide angle, it has ultra wide. I mean, it's got macro lens. It's just incredible. You got 48 megapixel photo here, which is just 48 megapixel ultra HD is on. It lets you know that at the top. And ultimately you get these fantastic crisp photos when you get more into zooming in or printing. Portrait mode is incredible on this phone. Panorama, night, and pro mode. It even has pro mode. And that's definitely something you should take note of. In order to get into the settings here, you get down from here and then you just go here to settings. You can see all the different settings here on the device. Now when I go over to video, I'll show you what it looks like for the settings. You can see here is where you tap here to change, and you can also do ultra wide. You can record in ultra wide for video as well. There's 720 at 30, 1080p at 30, and you got time lapse, and this is how you get into the settings here. Really nice. I mean, this is a win, folks. I mean, I can't think of a better purchase right now to start off 2020 with. So I told you guys in previous videos, I'm going to try to give you the best value that I could possibly give you on my channel going forward, because that is how I started my channel. So I will review other phones that definitely cost more than 200 bucks. However, I'm going to continue to do my best that I can to budget all your donations that you give. There's a donation tab in the description, but I don't really push that too much. I just take what I can get and I just keep it moving, and I try to fly on with it because I can't rely on people to donate all the time. I don't have a Patreon. I don't want a Patreon. I want you to do what you want to do. I don't want to apply any pressure. So this phone is beautiful. It's 159 bucks, folks. You really should take notice of this because I'm going to try my darndest. Like I said, son, I'm going to give you the best. And I feel like this is one of the best offerings for the price range of a person who doesn't want to be on something on a contract. This does not work on Boost, Virgin, any of the CDMAs. This is strictly for GSM providers to pop a SIM card in there, like T-Mobile, AT&T, Cricket, Simple Mobile, Red, any of those GM providers that you can think of works with this. This will work on Google Fi as well, but you'll only be locked on to the T-Mobile network more than likely. But this is beautiful. You cannot sleep on this. This thing is incredible. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I got one last question though. What do you guys think about the camera? Wow, right? The cameras on here are incredible, man. I mean, I really want to match this up against the OnePlus. Even though I think it's going to do better than the OnePlus, I might need to put it against the Pixel for those portrait shots. But not many phones are touching the Pixel, man. So I've got the other phones I can match it against. But this is incredible. I'm happy that you guys joined me for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. It's probably like a 30-minute video. But hey, it's like watching a little mini movie. So, in-depth first look at the Redmi Note 8 by Xiaomi. This is a phone you should purchase, folks. Again, 3 options. I went with the lowest option for cost reasons because I want to try to buy several other phones, and I want to just give you the phone to show you what it can do. So this comes into up to a 3. I got the 3 gig version, but you can get up to a 6 gig version when you go up in memory. So 32, 64, 128, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, 48 megapixel main camera, 6.3 inch display, facial recognition, you name it, it is here. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed the full walkthrough of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8. God bless and enjoy your day. 2020 is going to be great, guys.